He still got these bristles. Ow! Well, Hey y'all, I am working on trying to get a few more things rounded up to take over to my booth today. I finished making some little signs for it. I don't know. I decided to go ahead with the 50% off. Why not? So I went on Canva. Speaking of that, okay, so Canva's supposed to have like this, at least a lot of free options and stuff like that in there. And before, I'd be able to go in and select a template. And as long as it didn't have the little gold crown on it, it meant it was free to use. And last night when I went in to go make these, I selected a template, and even though it didn't have the crown on it, so it looked like it was a free template, the individual little graphics on the template were watermarked, and you have to sign up for premium to remove the watermark. I found that interesting. So just a heads up, if anybody out there uses Canva, it has apparently changed quite a bit. I could not find a single free template that didn't have that. So that kind of, I don't know, in my opinion, negates the free options or portion on there, but who am I? I don't know. Anyways, I just went in and found little graphic pictures, and I just created my own dang template. And this thing here wasn't even like a write on me thing. I don't know what that's called, but you know, like a thing to write on. I made it into one. There you go. I figured this would work, so I printed out 2 or 3 of them, and I'm going to hang those up when I go up there. But I'm trying to figure out, I don't know, a few more things to take, and I don't want to take too much. I'm not trying to like fully restock the booth. I want to let this sale happen and see how much inventory I can actually get out the door before I go and yank stuff and everything. Because stuff that I take from there, very little of it will I bring back and even attempt to put it on eBay. So really it'll go from my booth to probably donation, to be honest with you, because I don't want to bring it all back here. If it's not selling, and I don't think it's going to have any good chance of selling on eBay really, then that's probably what's going to happen. So I kind of want to wait till after this weekend and then take up a bigger bulk of stuff. But so far I have the things that I had in the last video I did. And then I'm trying to add a couple more things. Let me grab one of them. So let me make sure there's no critters in it too. So anybody who's into vintage and antique things has probably heard of Harper's Bazaar or what are they? The goodies magazine, fashion magazines and stuff. And so that's what this is. I'm not sure if this is real, like from a big picture graph book of it, or was it in a newspaper type of thing, or are these reprints, you know, because these look like full paper sheets going up and down, but you can definitely see the seams on here. But let me back up so you can see it better. But it's just a really cool piece. And then it has this kind of like, I don't know, stiffened or hardened, almost like it was Mod Podged at some point, which would make sense because this looks Mod Podged. But it looks like a burlap, like a dark burlap or something up here. The inside of this is, I honestly don't know what this inside of it is. It's not wood, I don't think. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. It's not cardboard. I don't think it's wood. If it is, it's extremely thin wood, but I don't know. This is just a really cool piece that I've had for quite a while now, and I haven't done anything with because I couldn't find any like it. I can't find anything like it, but I'm ready to get it out of here, to get it out of the way. I don't know what a good price is to put on this. I'm thinking maybe I put $50 on it and just see if anybody buys it. Or maybe mark, I don't, ugh. So the other thing is I hate to take too much up there. Anything that I don't necessarily need to put at 50% off because it would be new inventory. So I'm not necessarily trying to clear it out. It's okay if what I take up there right now sits for a little bit. So maybe I'll put, $50 or $60 on it and then put firm on that tag. I have firm on one other thing so far that I plan on taking up there, and that is the first thing I've ever written firm on a tag in my booth. So, I can always update the tags. I can always replace the tags. But I'd hate to have newer inventory that should be worth, probably close, or at least a lot closer to what I'm asking than, instead of $50, $25, I don't know. And maybe 25 is what I'll end up getting for it, but I hate to start it at that. So writing firm on it makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't like having anything actually firm, because the idea in my mind is for everything to sell. So I kind of want everything in my booth to be on sale. I just normally don't keep it all at 50% on sale. So maybe I'll write firm on whatever things I need, or I think need to be firm right now, and then in, Sunday or Monday, go up there and exchange the tags for new ones, for updated ones that will then be able to have that 15 or 20% discount that I reapply to the booth once this is over. So, critters. Oh, I really hope not. Okay, I think I'm good. Oh, I really hope not. Okay, so this, you guys may recognize the name. So it's kind of hard to hold up and at a good angle for you. My lighting in here isn't all that great, so I apologize. But it says Ball Baron. I can't tell what this says. It's kind of like initials or something. Ball Baron, though. Grand Rapids. And then over here it says, that's what it says. Psycho. CYCO. Ball Baron, Grand Rapids. And the top of it says Bissell's. So it's not an electric sweeper, obviously, and I'm missing the stick that would have screwed into here, like a push broom stick. But yeah, it's definitely an early model. I don't recall if it was their first model out the gate, but it's definitely an early one. Oh, no critters, come on now. He still got these bristles. Ow! Well, you son of a... Don't do that, it hurts. That's why you're supposed to use your foot for it, I think. Okay, so I thought there was a graphic in there, but maybe not. Woo, it's an aggressive sweeper, I'll tell you that. Be scared of this one. So when I got this, it was pretty dirty, and it's overall in pretty good shape. I could, oil it or Old English it and stuff. I'm not going to. You can see on the little wheels here and stuff. Maybe if the light will show you, but there's a little bit of rust. They're iron, but like I said, this is an early model. I believe it was mid or late 1800s. I don't remember exactly when, but I believe it was before the turn of the century for sure. I was able to find in some of my old Victorian housewares magazines and stuff like that, or reprints of the magazines or catalogs, those kinds of things you could order this stuff from. And it was listed in there. There were 2 or 3 models listed in there. And so I think it sold at the time for $15 or so, $15, $20, which would have been a lot of money back then. So I think when I looked them up last online, and I'll double check eBay again to see what they're currently selling for, or similar models are selling for. But I want to say the last time I looked it up, there's not a ton of them out there. There's certainly not a ton with the actual broomstick still in it. And the ones that are out there, again, it's one of these that condition really varies. A sweeper was used frequently and was not treated with a lot of care. This isn't a porcelain figurine, so it's not like people actively tried to make sure it didn't get damaged. So the fact that it's in the shape that it is, and the wheels still turn, you can still read the words on it and everything, I think that's pretty remarkable for its age and for what its use was. Again, this wasn't a picture hung on the wall. This is something you swept the floor with. So even the bristles on it are still technically in really good shape, surprisingly. So, when I got it, there was a lot of like fuzz and hair and crud in it. And, I cleaned that out. So I don't know where it was stored all these years, because I imagine it hasn't been used in quite some time, but I thought it was really, really cool. And I got it in an estate auction, and I don't believe I paid much at all for it, more than a few dollars. So, I figured this is something. I live in the Midwest. There's a lot of folks around here that are very into the primitive and shabby chic, even farmhouse decor, all that kind of stuff. And so I think it'll sell well up there, and I want to price it that way too. I don't want it to sit there for forever, but I do think it carries a little bit more value, just the decorative purpose of it alone, if you have that primitive decor style going on. I want to say it was selling for maybe around $125, give or take, and I'm probably going to price it right about that and just see what happens with it. So I see other people's videos with antique booth info on it, how to start an antique booth, good practice in how to run your antique booth. You get out of it what you put into it, and that's probably the most solid golden line anybody will ever tell you about having an antique booth. But there's some things you can do to make things easier. Some antique stores, even in small towns, surprisingly, are, a little more, I don't know what to say, like with the times or with the new technology as far as helping you keep track of your inventory, and for their benefit too. It gives them a way to keep track of total amounts and what all inventory is actively in the store. So they'll get set up with like online versions, portals and things like that, which I think are great. I think that's an awesome way to do it. My antique shop, unfortunately, doesn't have that type of system. So you're on old school handwriting out the tags, and, there is no formal list of your inventory kept anywhere unless you keep it. So if I'm trying to figure out if something's sold out of my booth or is missing out of my booth, whatever, I keep a written log. So I'll handwrite out a little tag and put it on it. But then I print up a little log too. So I just have a short little description, how many of whatever it is I'm tagging, my tag price, sold amount, and the sold date. Anytime I go into the antique booth, I'm given a paper, or whenever I pay like my rental monthly thing or whatnot, I'm given a paper that looks a lot like this, and they handwrite out whatever sold, the amount, and yada yada. And so I'm able to take that and compare it with my log. So it's a little more, it's long form, it's a little more time consuming, and it's possible that anywhere you have a booth, that may be the way you have to do it. You may go to a booth that winds up, or a shop that winds up having more of the electronic system. And, those are great and helpful, and probably a little bit quicker, but I just thought I'd share that with you in case anybody is wondering, kind of how do you manually keep track of all that in an easy enough format. And that's how I do it. Okay, so I have another artwork picture. I'm really wanting to start getting artwork moved up there, especially pieces that, one, I think would sell well in my market or in my booth, but also I'm not scared to ship artwork. I am concerned that the cost to ship artwork, in the similar sense as lamps or anything else like this, it's just going to be detrimental to try to sell things online that way. And I think that you're going to have to, on a lot of things, lower your price in order to even entice buyers to overlook the enormous cost it will be to ship something. And that is unfortunate, but it is the way things are, at least at least right now. So I'm not saying don't list artwork online. It certainly does sell. You can go on there anytime and find ones that have sold, but depending on what the piece is, you know, just be prepared that it may sit for a little while, because the cost to ship it, even if it's not extremely heavy, just the dimensions of the box, they're going to make it a challenge to find a buyer who's willing to pay that. So, okay. So this one here is, I'm trying to get it where you can see it without the reflection, but it's a Jim Daly print. This one is called Odd Man Out. So you can see that the little boys there are, you know, flipping a coin or something like that, something to that effect. And the little dog sitting down there. It's a really nice print. On the front, I can't see it numbered or signed anywhere, but the print itself looks like those really, you know, fancy, glossy, professional pictures that you would get printed, you know, every year when your parents made you go to like JCPenney or something and get professional photos done and stuff, you know, family pictures. It's that kind of print in there. So it's definitely a more, it's definitely a fancier print, but the back is still completely covered, and I don't want to remove this since it's still completely intact. I'm not comfortable with that. And I don't know if it was numbered, would the person who framed it necessarily put the nice, expensive looking matting over that? You wouldn't cover a signature or print run number, right? So I don't know, maybe it's not printed on there, but I'm gonna put it up there. I'm putting firm on the tag for right now, and I'm putting it at $135. Depending on the print, these usually sell when they're nicely framed and matted like this. They can sell for $150 to $300 and some dollars. So I don't know a whole lot about Jim Daly myself and his art. I know he does some figurines and stuff too that are really, really cool. But from what I've seen, you know, some of his stuff sells on way lower end, some of it on the higher end. But I think the ones that are in frame, matted, and look nice tend to do pretty well. And it's a really good picture. I mean, what a cute picture. It's adorable. I mean, oh my gosh. But a lot of his artwork from when I was looking, or he has several that look like they would maybe be in this sort of like series of pictures. And a lot of them are, you know, children with their, you know, pets and stuff like that. And they're usually in this like time period and style and stuff. And so, you know, they're really neat. They're really cool pictures. And I was thinking I'll put that one up there and see how it does. I've sold a little bit of art stuff up there. Nothing like that. It's always been more sort of kitschy, sort of, what do they call that? Like naive sort of things, folk arty sort of things. But it's not been anything like grand, like really spectacular. So this is an Argus 500 automatic model 58. It's in its original box here thing. So here's its cord, and it looks like it's in excellent condition. It's not dry or anything like that. So there's its on-off switch, but I believe it still works. Let's plug it in. Okay, we're all juiced up. Moment of truth. Holy crud. Look at that there. It works pretty good. I don't know how you put film in it, but it sure does work. I'll be darned. Ooh, you can smell the age in it. I should for sure quit playing with it though, because things are gonna get out of hand real quick. All right, so wow, it's on fire in there, kind of. No, it's not. It's just the bulb going down. So there's the projector lens, Argus 500 automatic. Yeah, I'm not sure how you feed the film in it. Ah! And yeah, I'm not sure how you're supposed to do all that, but somebody out there knows. Wish I'd have had some, film picture things in there for it, but so I'd have to look and see what those are selling for right now. And I mean, as far as I can tell, working condition. So I think I'm going to take that one up there too. Okay, so one of the last things I'm going to show you guys today is this doorstop. This is cast iron. You can find these in a variety of shapes, sizes, characters, what have you. They're all generally heavy, which is what makes them a good doorstop. Okay, so the name to look out for with iron doorstops and other iron items as well, but a big name is Hubley. Hubley. Hubley, when you look in collector's books or antique iron books, reference books of all kinds, Hubley is typically the one and only brand name that you will find alongside different information or listings or what have you. And that's not to mean that a lot of other companies and stuff didn't make cast iron doorstops. They were very popular for obvious reasons, but a lot of places, one, didn't mark their products. Two, Hubley was just the more well-known one. I don't see any markings on it. And a lot of times these are painted and everything. Most of the time when you find them, especially the older ones, these took a beating. They were a doorstop, so they're going to have paint loss and stuff. Typically, there's not a lot of damage to the metal itself, but, it kind of, they start to kind of look like cold painted porcelain or something after a while with how the paint loss is. But this one here is not antique that I'm aware of. It's more vintage. I want to say this one's maybe in the 50s or 60s. I can't remember. It's been a while since I looked it up, but it's definitely not antique. Mid-century, I think at best. So here's the back of him, and he's still kind of got just like that sort of like dark blue base paint on here. But yeah, I don't see any types of markings or anything on it. So, but yeah, definitely Hubley is the name you want to look for. And that's not to say that other doorstops won't sell for good money, but you want to definitely look into them. Most all of them will sell, but they're all going to be heavy. So they're all going to be expensive to ship. I think that's something to really keep in mind when you're looking at things like this. So if you can sell it in your local market and not have to worry about shipping it, that's certainly ideal, I think. Regardless, if you find it at the right price and it's one of those more higher end pieces, I would definitely pick it up. Go on eBay and look through some sold listings and stuff and kind of see what in the last 90 days or so has been selling in this category. Generally, you're going to find the higher dollar ones are going to be animals like your dogs. The black cat, they made that in the iron, like the Halloween black cat, similar thing. So you got some of your animals. There's certain ships. There are some stagecoach ones, but not this one. So again, it's just one of those things, like everything. You just kind of want to familiarize yourself with it, at least flip through. And honestly, that's generally what I do, is I don't always have all this memorized or every single valuable one locked into my mind. It's more a matter of just looking through listings like on eBay or flipping through my collector books, and it's just seeing the photos, reading a little paragraph about something. And for some reason, that generally will help when I'm sourcing for stuff to say, wait, I may not be able to pinpoint exactly what that is or how I know what it is, but I have a feeling I've seen that before and I should know, I should remember it. So, that's a lot of times that's my gut reaction to things. And, I think that gets better with time. You learn to trust yourself a little bit more with that, but that's usually how it works. It's like you're not always going to know everything right off the bat. A lot of times you're not even going to have that information to make that decision right off the bat. So it's really a matter of being able to look at something and kind of pick up those little characteristics out of it that trigger you to say, okay, that's making sense. That's lining up with X, Y, and Z. That's, I recall a piece that's similar to that. It helps you learn about different styles, different artists, and all that kind of stuff. But again, Hubley, when it comes to cast iron door stops or cast iron items in general, Hubley's a very good one to know. But anyways, so this is another piece that I think would be best suited in my booth. I think it would probably sell decently well in my market. I don't know that it would move immediately, but it would sell. I'm not going to price it very high. I'm trying to remember. Again, it's been so long since I looked this one up. But I want to say it was comped around $25, $30 or so. And so I'll probably put it somewhere right about that and then just put it at the booth and see how he does. I think it's a cool piece. I've always liked these things. My mom always had cast iron door stops. A lot of them were the cast iron little irons, that you would set on hot trivets and stuff. And those always got repurposed into door stops, at least in my house. So, and I guess, I don't know, like there's more that I could take. Like I said, I hate to put too much up there. I guess that's good for now. Like I said, I hate to put too much up there knowing that I don't want to put everything up there new and mark it firm, because I don't necessarily need it to be firm. Yeah, I feel like that would be a waste of tags to do that. We've got our big, I don't know what you'd call that. I guess it could be a hamper. It could be something you stored canes or umbrellas in. I don't know. Something like that. We got that. We got this guy. We've got our Bissell sweeper. And we've got our Jim Daly print. And then we've got the little bit of stuff that we had the other night. Anyways, guys, it was good hanging out with you. I'm going to get some of this stuff taken up to the booth. I would try and film up there again, but since it's only been about a day, I just don't know that there is going to be much change. And they're pretty busy. A lot of the vendors are up there kind of moving stuff in and out and rearranging and carrying on, prepping for the big Saturday sale for tomorrow. So I'll probably just get in there, drop off my couple things, put up my new signs, and get on out of there. So I guess that's it for this one, guys. And I'll see you on the next one.